Hey Chi Alpha, welcome to Worship Wednesday. Today we're talking about Follow You Anywhere by Passion.
Awesome. So, Naoto, this is a song that is really meaningful to you. And you're telling me there are a few moments in Scripture that this song really relates to you.
Yeah, so the words that I picked is Genesis chapter 21, verse 15. It says, I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you.
So this scripture is talking about this moment when Jacob he basically tricked his brother to give him his inheritance. And not only that, he tricks his dad into giving his older brother's inheritance to him, right? Esau's inheritance ends up going to Jacob. And if you don't know, Esau, he's a big guy. He's like big, strong.
Right.
He's kind of like Naoto, right? Like he's just like big, muscly dude. And so basically his birthright is taken from him by his younger brother Jacob. And now Jacob's running for his life. He's running out in the middle of the wilderness. He finds refuge in the middle of the desert, pulls a rock as his pillow. This is like a super low point. And in that moment, God gives him a vision.
Right.
And he, in this lowest moment of his life, God gives him a vision and then makes this amazing promise. And so for you personally, Naoto, tell me a little bit about your story and how that scripture has spoken to you in your life.
Yeah, so I'm studying in the US, like in the UNT right now. But for me, I was born and grew up in Japan. So coming over to US and then studying here, and then also getting a degree, like college degree from here is pretty challenging to me before I came to the US. Especially, I graduated from like community college in Texas, and then I transferred to UNT 2 years ago, 2018. Yeah. And then before I came to UNT, I was in Japan for summer break. And then before I came over to Denton, I was very afraid because I knew no one here.
Right.
And then I have no friends, I have no family here. And then I have no idea what UNT looks like. So I was very worried about that. But right before I left my home country, one of my friends from my home church just texted me, and then he gave me this verse in the text.
Yeah. So you were in this place of maybe fear, a little bit of anxiety, just not knowing what was going to come. And these words, this promise that God makes to Jacob, speaks to you because in the same way, God has that same promise for us, that He is going to take us somewhere, and He's not going to abandon us until He sees that promise through. Yeah, and so you were telling me there's another scripture that has a similar idea, right?
Right. So it's in Joshua chapter 5, verse 1. So the scripture says, no one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you.
Yeah, and so you were telling me a little bit about how this transition, not only did you have to do that transition once when you went to community college, but you have to do that transition again, a whole new season of new everything. This promise that God made to Joseph brought peace to your heart because of how Joseph is called to do something really big and awesome. And in the same way for you, right? Getting your degree is a big deal, and it's a big challenge.
Right.
And God has put that in your heart, and He's also given you the promise that He's with you through that journey.
Right.
Right. And so tell me a little bit about what that journey ended up looking like.
So now I'm in a senior year. I'm about to graduate from UNT. So before I decided to come to the US, I went to the advisor in Japan, and then most of them told me that hey, it's pretty hard for Japanese students to enter the American university and then finishing the degree. But now I'm about to graduate, and then also before I came to the US, not only skill was not enough, but also financial was not enough neither.
Yeah.
But the Jesus provided a lot, and then now I'm about to graduate.
So I'm kind of laughing because I've been with Naoto through the last 2 years of this journey, where his finances ran out at a certain point at the end of his junior year, and he was telling me, Alfredo, like, if I don't get a scholarship, then I'm gonna have to. I don't know where this money is gonna come from. So we prayed, and it looked like you weren't gonna be able to start your senior year. And there's this miraculous moment where Naoto gets an email from an advisor at UNT. He already bought his ticket to get here for his senior year, and in faith, he was like, I'm just gonna be here and take my classes until they tell me to leave. And then he gets this email from his advisor, hey, you got this scholarship, and not only does it cover a portion of your tuition for this whole year, but also you're not going to have to pay out-of-state tuition. So the money that you had left in your financial aid covered the rest of your school year. And it was just this moment where we could see God was tangibly opening doors and fulfilling the promise that he would be with you through the journey that he called you to go through, right? And so you were telling me a little bit about this song, right? How does this song bring to light those moments?
So especially like in the chorus part in this song, it sings that I follow you anywhere, I follow God anywhere. You calls me or you leads me, because the reason why we can like sing to God like that way is, first of all, as God promised Jacob and Joshua, God also like promised me, so to accomplish his vision or his dream. So he will never like leave me or forsake me.
Right. Yeah, and I think the big thing about this is that this song challenges us not just to trust God, but to remember those moments where he has provided a victory and to hold on to it, because we know that the victory of God, the victory of Christ is ultimate, that he overcomes every obstacle. There's so many scriptures where God does this, right? Yeah. But I think of that moment where Jesus is walking and he and his disciples are entering into a city, and as they're walking in, there's a funeral procession walking out. But Jesus goes in, he revives this young boy, this young man back to life who they were proclaiming dead. And not only is the young man brought back to life, but his mom, who was afraid because her husband was also dead, and her son was the only person who was left to provide for her. Now her future was secure, and the thing that she had lost was brought back. And so in the same way, sometimes it feels like, oh no, my financial aid is gone, I'm out of money, I can't finish school. Right. But God finds a way to miraculously provide. And sometimes it's in ways that we don't expect. I know for you, financial aid was one of the big hurdles, but there were plenty of other moments where it seemed like its graduation might not ever come. And so God has continued to open those doors. And so I'm excited to worship through this song and to lead you guys through this song. So yeah, Naoto, let's go ahead and let's play the song.
Yeah.